Hi, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic week, looking after yourselves and your health and wellness and putting yourselves first. So I've got I was going to say top 5, but I've actually got 6 because I thought of another one. Top 6 tips that kind of helped me keep on track when I made the decision to change the way I ate and take control of my health and my diet and my weight loss. And just a few things you might like to consider to help you along your way. So, tip number 1, food is not entertainment. I've said that before, and what I mean by that is that for me, in the past, a meal, food, thinking about food, planning food, buying food, looking at food in the shops, I used it as a form of entertainment. It was something to occupy my time. And what I tried to really purposefully do when I took control of my eating was to change that and to no longer see the meal or the thinking about food as the entertainment portion of my day. It's kind of hard, but I try to replace it with different hobbies, different things just to distract me initially, whether it was something really simple like colouring, these adult colouring books are quite fun, or even if it was just watching TV, watching, YouTube, going for a walk, anything like that. But I tried to see food and meal times for what they were, something enjoyable, something delicious, something to nourish me, but not the entertainment portion of my day. That's not to say, of course, that it's not fun and entertaining to go out with friends or whatever, go out to eat, but that's something different. That's something that is more of a whole experience. Okay, tip number 2, it's what you do most of the time that counts, not what you do just some of the time. I think we fall into that way of thinking where we can be doing fairly well for a few days, then we have one hiccup, one slip, and we think, well, it's all gone now, we've ruined it. And that's not, of course, the case. I spoke about this a bit in my last video, I think. It's what you do for the majority of the time that has the majority of the, the effect on your life. So you've got to just focus on that and celebrate the small wins. You really do celebrate those small wins. If for you it's difficult to go a day without eating too much for dinner, and then one day you do, really celebrate that. Make a point of patting yourself on the back and saying, well, this is great, I'll do that again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And that doing that small thing, that different thing every day will build up, and it has an effect. So tip number 3, identify your triggers and put some systems in place that are going to help you stay on track. So triggers could be things like certain foods that you just can't resist. Maybe you don't have them in the house. For me, when I first started to try and improve the way I ate and lose weight, I had to remove crisps from the house because I just couldn't be trusted with them. I can now because I've sort of gone off them because I haven't eaten them for so long, and I don't crave them any longer. But, initially they would have been the thing that would have sat in my cupboard and called to me, gone, Elsa, come and eat me. I'm some nice crisps. So I got rid of them, and that really helped because if I was in that mood, they weren't there. It might be something that you change the way you walk from the train station home, so you don't have to walk past that shop that you always like to pop in and go, yeah, they do a really nice chocolate bar that I like. Or, maybe you've got friends or family who like to go to a certain, maybe they like to go to Nando's, and you don't, that's a trigger for you to overeat. And you think, okay, for a while, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to choose not to go there. Whatever it is that triggers you into the behaviours that you don't want to do anymore, like overeating, binging, just putting stuff into your body that isn't going to serve you at the moment. You just put something in place so that you're one step ahead and you're setting yourself up for that success. Tip number 4 kind of follows on a little bit from that, and that is to break the momentum of your eating. Now, what I mean by that is, I don't know about you, this was always a big problem for me. I would eat my dinner and I could easily stand up from that meal and continue eating. go into the kitchen and get another portion, go into the kitchen and get something else. Because it was almost like I was on a roll. I was just on a roll. I was eating, I was eating, I was eating, I was eating. And I never gave myself time to sit and think, am I full? Am I satisfied? You know, do I want anything else? Or am I just on a continuum here where I'm already eating, keep going? Even now, when I have radically changed the way I eat, if I don't just sit for a moment and take a breath, take a beat after I've eaten, I could easily stand up and just eat, you know, go and get something else to eat. Even if it's a healthy thing, I don't need it at all. So I think sometimes just breaking that momentum, taking a moment, sitting in place and saying, do I feel satisfied? Have I eaten enough? Can really help. I mean, it certainly really helped me because it got me out of that mindless eating cycle. I think a lot of us, when we struggle with food, we struggle with food addiction, we struggle with weight, a lot of our eating is mindless. I mean, it certainly always was for me. Mindlessly eating and not thinking about what we're eating or whether we've had enough or whether we feel sick or anything. So breaking that momentum, that habit, I think can be really, really useful. Tip number 5, don't drink your calories. I think you've probably heard this before, it's an old adage, but you know, what we drink, and I'd like to do I'm going to do a longer video about this because I think it's really interesting, but you know, if we're struggling with eating, pouring calories down our throat in the form of a drink is not helping, because it's so easy to overconsume. It's so easy to not even notice that they've gone. They don't, you know, calories that you drink don't really satisfy you in the same way as food. And, you know, you could be drinking some things like, you know, some of these creamy coffee drinks or high sugar drinks, and you're drinking a few hundred calories, which, you know, you may as well go and have a treat to eat. Surely it's more enjoyable. But it's just something to be mindful of. I mean, I was never a big problem for me because I don't like to have milk or anything in my hot drinks. I never have. But I did certainly used to drink a lot of Diet Coke, Diet fizzy drinks, which, as I say, I'm going to go into this more in another video because there's a lot of proven links where they don't help or aid weight loss, even though it seems like they would because there's sweeteners in them, not sugar. You know, fruit juice, things like that. It's just so easy to overconsume. Same with alcohol. I mean, you know, there are choices you can make with what you drink, but certainly, like, you know, sugary cocktails are not such a good choice. Wine, you know, there's a lot of calories in wine, let's be honest, but I'm not saying don't have a drink in moderation, but you know, just be mindful. Drinking your calories is a real easy way to slip up, and you can have had a lot more intake than you've realized. Okay, and tip number 6, this is a bit more of an obscure one, but I would say really try to change the narrative, your internal monologue of who you are. What I try to do is say to myself, I'm a person that eats well. I'm a person that eats healthily. Because I think we can all spend a long time looking at ourselves and disliking ourselves. And I used to say, oh, you know, you're fat, you're overweight, you're out of control. Horrible things that I wouldn't say to my best friend. You know, and I would go into my day thinking, oh, you're either a dieter or you're someone that overeats. You're on a diet or you spoiled your diet. And I think when I started to say, you're a person that eats well, you're a person that eats healthily, you're a fit, healthy person, you're someone that puts your wellness as a priority. And even sometimes just saying to myself decisions ahead of time, in the same way as we spoke about identifying your triggers, so that ahead of time you've put some systems in place. I will sometimes, and I still do this sometimes, I would say, okay, I'm going out for the day. I'm going to have some treats today. Or I might say, I'm going out for the day, but do you know what? I've eaten rather a lot today. I don't want to particularly go out and have a heavy lunch as well. And sometimes just saying that takes away that thought, but I want it. It's not to say I can't have it, but it's just sometimes speaking to yourself in your internal self ahead of time can help make mindset change. You know, I think, as I say, we can spend so much time hating ourselves. I mean, I certainly did. And I think by telling ourselves we're a different person, we're not that person anymore. We're someone in control. We're someone in charge. We're someone that puts ourselves first. Can make a difference. It's just a small thing, but it can make a difference sometimes. I think learning to speak to ourselves kindly is a massive, it's a massive achievement if we can do that. Anyway, just a quick one today. So I hope you enjoyed those tips. There's certainly things that just added into helping me on my way. I'll be back again soon, but in the meantime, have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy yourselves and keep putting yourselves first, looking after your health and wellness. And if you'd consider subscribing, I would be thrilled. I'm trying to grow my own little channel here. And any subscriber, thumbs up, comment, etc. would be much appreciated. Okay, bye for now. See you soon.